Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. I wanted to do a video about all the stuff that's happening with Bruce Jenner. And please understand in this video, this isn't about attacking his sexuality or even really exploring that. I mean, we basically get it at this point. But if you're not familiar with my channel or my work, please check out some of my videos and you'll see that typically what I'll do, especially in a case like this, is look for the symbolism in the story. Because symbols are another language altogether, and they exist in everything all around us. And it is a language that not everybody picks up on. One of my favorite old school philosophers is Confucius, and he told us many years ago that this world is not ruled by rules nor laws, but by signs and symbols. And keeping that in mind, I found some very interesting symbols around Bruce Jenner that I'm sure you haven't seen yet. So let's check some of this stuff out. When I first heard about this interview that Bruce Jenner was going to do and I essentially come out and tell people he was a transgender or in that process, the first thing that really stood out to me was who was interviewing him. And that was Diane Sawyer. If you want to see a little something on Diane Sawyer, just type in Diane Sawyer drunk into the YouTube search engine sometime and press go. And this here is one of the most classic examples. It actually shows her during a commercial break while she's doing the nightly news, sipping a little bit of wine. And then we find her digging into her purse and pulling out pharmaceuticals. And Primetime did their best to kind of cover this up, but you can see her washing those pills down with a nice swig of wine. So for so many years we have Diane Sawyer, someone who is intoxicated and is under the influence of pharmaceutical drugs, giving you the news, giving America the news, giving you the truth, because you deserve it. And in between the breaks, I'm gonna drink a little wine, I'm gonna pop a couple pills, I'm gonna loosen up a little bit. But hey, you know, it's got to be a stressful job being on the news every night and delivering the hardcore truth to the American people, the truth they deserve. Another way to look at this is that many of your newscasters, Diane Sawyer in this case, but I'm sure there's plenty more, are literally under mind control when they're giving you the news. Remember this big fat liar right here, Brian Williams? Finally, these people are being shown for what they are and who they are. And I think it's great. And I'd love to see them all fall. I'd love to see all mainstream media fall apart. And it looks like I'm getting my wish. But you know what? As I always say, the veil is being lifted. The veil is being lifted on everything. So all the lies and deceit and delusion that we get from these people is finally starting to come to the surface. So before I get into showing you some of the symbolism around Bruce Jenner himself, I just want to look at this kind of from a logical perspective. Let's use our critical thinking skills. Let's use our reason. Let's investigate this. I just want to look at some other elements to this story and just piece some things together here. And in this case, really all we have to do is use our logic, our reason, our critical thinking skills. I just want to show you a few things. I want to show you some examples and some connections we can find with this entire family here, connected to the occult, connected to Satanism. Some may say connected to the Illuminati. And the reason why I think it's so important to point this stuff out is because I don't know if you watched the interview or not. I actually did watch the interview. I'm one of the 17 or 18 million people or whatever that actually watched it and checked it out. I was interested. And it was a total puff piece. You know, they really love this story. The media loves this story. And this is just the beginning. This thing is going to be huge. This whole thing with transgender. We have been being conditioned for this for quite a while now. Remember this? Conchita Wurst. And of course, we can't forget the television series Transparent. But speaking of television shows about transgenders, I found something else really interesting during that Bruce Jenner interview. But here's something I noticed during the interview. It was the commercials that ran. And sure enough, there were advertisements in between the interview for Ryan Seacrest's new show, Becoming Us, which is all about a transgender family. And we shouldn't be surprised by that. Ryan Seacrest is also the producer of The Kardashians. Are you beginning to see a bit of an agenda taking place here? I'll tell you though what it was that really stood out to me in the interview. It came near the end of the interview, and it was when Bruce Jenner confesses that he is a wait for it, conservative Christian. As soon as he said that, as soon as I heard that, that was my aha moment. I'm like, well, there it is. This is all a part of that agenda, at least the agenda I'm seeing. Oftentimes you guys will hear me say that we're ending the fourth age and entering the fifth age. And the fifth age is going to be the last age of man. It's the age of the Antichrist, the fully matured New World Order. The fourth age is the age of Pisces. That was a time of structures. What we're seeing as we transition from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius is the destruction of all the old ways. And we're seeing all the obvious corruption of the government now coming out of it. Religious institutions are falling. Public education, of course, is crumbling. Everything's falling apart. The old ways are leaving us. The new way is ahead, and it is the one world system. And with this new system brings new ideologies. So as I say, we're going to see the ending of old ways and the beginning of new. To me, Bruce Jenner is a perfect example of that. The all-American man. Handsome, rugged, athletic, all-American dude. And he did amazing things. Because I believe the underlying theme of Bruce Jenner's transformation is the death of the American male. It wouldn't be much of a stretch to say that this is all part of that so-called gay agenda that we see played out so much right now in our media. Here's a little something from Kim Kardashian. Somebody had called her out about the Illuminati. She said, I posted an IG collage for my BFF and people say it's the Illuminate. What is the Illuminate? A religion? I'm a Christian. How many of us know already that that is total crap? Now, of course, she's a liar. These people are deceivers. As far as so-called Illuminati symbolism goes, the Kardashian family covers every single one of them all the time. The satanic symbolism around this family is uncanny and absolutely insane. It's everywhere. But they're Christians. These are Christians, guys. We're Christians. We don't know about the Illuminate. But then she puts stuff out like this. It's so obviously the Illuminati symbol, the pyramid in the eye, right? And this isn't the only one. They've been doing this stuff for years. This is all over the place with the entire family. Of course they're going to lie, and of course they're going to say, oh, we don't know anything about, what is this Illuminate? I don't know what Illuminate is. You got to remember that these people have all taken oaths. It's an oath of secrecy. This is why you're always seeing these Illuminati artists with the shh, the finger over the lips. These are secret societies. These people work in the shadows. The easiest label to put there is Satanist. And this is her bracelet. It's the Baphomet. I mean, like I said, I could show you all day long. I can show you picture after picture after picture showing these satanic connections to this family and the symbols they use and the jewelry they use and the things they say and the things they do. And of course the kids are into it now. Kylie and Kendall Jenner, they're constantly doing all these symbols. But no. See, these people, this family, they don't know what the Illuminate is. They don't know what Illuminate is. They never heard of this Satanism. What is this Satanism? We're Christians. We're Christians. We're Christians. We love Jesus Christ. We're all about God. Seriously, Illuminati symbolism, all-seeing eye. Shh, I don't know. What is this Illuminate? I don't know what this Illuminate is. I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't get much more obvious than this, guys. This is Kris Kardashian's stage for her talk show. And of course, we have the red, black, and white color coding. I've done a lot of videos on that in the past. That original color sequence comes from the Church of Satan itself. That original color sequence was most made popular by the Church of Satan itself back in the 60s and 70s. You can see lots of examples of that online if you're interested. And then here's all the girls with their mom on the show. But, once again, what is this Illuminate? I don't understand the connection with Satanism. I think it's just a coincidence that one of the girls is wearing a 666 shirt. Of course, standing on the tiled floor with the red, black, and white color coding behind him. But again, I'm reaching, right, guys? I'm reaching. There's no Satanism here. There's no Illuminate happening here. Everything's cool. This is a Christian family. They love Jesus Christ. Love Jesus Christ. You can see it. You can tell. All right, guys, with all kidding aside, I want to go ahead and show you this right here because there's a lot happening in this picture. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. I thought it was interesting. This is a story from E! News itself online. It's analyzing the Kardashian Christmas card from 2013. Once again, though, we know the connection between E! Entertainment and Ryan Seacrest. He's producing a lot of these shows. We now know he's producing this new transgender show that, of course, they advertised during the Bruce Jenner interview, conveniently. So Ryan Seacrest himself is certainly playing his part in what I call this beast system in furthering the social engineering, blurring the lines. And it's interesting too, right here. I mean, they even say it. This is E! Entertainment again. Last night, the Kardashians released their annual Christmas card, and it's a doozy this year. It's kind of circusy and kind of casino-y and kind of Illuminati-y. So they're putting it right out there because it's very much what's going on here in this picture. Other videos in the past on David LaChapelle, not Chappelle. David LaChapelle is a photographer. He's done videos. But one thing about David LaChapelle, and you can look him up online and see all of his photos and stuff, this guy again is deeply entrenched in a lot of the occult symbolism with the Illuminati, or even connected to Satanism on a more basic level. You see it in tons of his work. It's all over the place, and it's so obvious. Which brings us back to the language of symbols, and symbolism, and Illuminati symbols, and patterns, and connections. This is occult knowledge. Occult means hidden. So obviously the majority of people aren't going to see this stuff. They're not going to get it. If you point it out to them, then, you're called names and you're made fun of and whatever. And we get that, right? This is what we're up against. But more and more people are waking up to this reality that this is what's going on. This really is a satanic system in charge. And as the veil lifts in these days we're in right here, it's becoming so much more obvious to so many of us. So this is a little picture from the Christmas card. It was interesting because Bruce Jenner, of course, is trapped in this kind of tube. Just outside of his tube, I think he's looking at more of a symbol of himself, of course. So as I said, I've covered David LaChapelle's work in the past, and the guy knows what he's talking about. He puts a lot of symbolism in almost everything he does. And there's a lot taking place in this card, but there is a specific theme. There's a specific message that I found in here I want to show you. And it goes right in line with, once again, leaving that fourth age, entering the fifth age. All the old ways are falling apart. This new way is coming upon us. So our old ideas of what a man is or a woman is, it's going away. And we're seeing this in our society. And we're heading into this new world order, this one world system, where everything else, including our sexuality, isn't going to be quite as easy to define. So here's Bruce Jenner, and he's beginning to look more kind of like the female-ish version of him, right? And he's trapped inside this tube. And remember, this is from a couple of years ago. Just outside the tube is the old model of him, the Olympian, the strong, virile American male, but he's missing an arm. And of course, we know this is supposed to be a symbol for Bruce because he has the Olympic awards around his neck. So I think that's a pretty obvious statement there. We're seeing Bruce going through the transformation. At the same time, we're seeing the death of the idea of the American male, or the strong man in general. And to further that point of the death of the idea of what a man is, we find these very muscular male mannequins symbolically in fire. Of course, in this picture, you find the obvious Illuminati pyramid with the eye. Now, that's the obvious stuff, and I'm sure people have done videos on this card, and it's the Illuminati, see? Yeah, and that's fine, but as you've seen in my work and a lot of other people's work as well, there's usually a lot more going on behind just the Illuminati symbol in something. There's a message. If you take a look at this right here, even just to the right of the Illuminati pyramid with the eye, we find the goddess. And that right there is the key to this entire card. I believe the real message that's being portrayed in this card, once again, it's about the death of the idea of the male, the strong man, man in charge. That's gone. And this is the rising of the goddess, of goddess worship, of goddess culture. All this stuff goes back to Babylon. I've shown in so many of my videos that connection with these Babylonian ideas, goddess worship, happening now in America, specifically in Hollywood. And these ideas of goddess worship are continually perpetuated upon us through the media. Beyond the goddess connection I'm going to show you, it's also interesting to note where her hands are above her head. On one side it's money, fame. On the other side it's the name Kardashian. So if ever there was a case for satanic sellout, selling yourself out, selling out your family for money and fame, I think that's a very interesting and obvious connection to what we see coming out of this family. What I really want you to notice here is the way that Kris Kardashian's arms are up. That's a symbol itself, and it's connected with the goddesses. We see the same image portrayed time and time again throughout history with a lot of this ancient goddess worship, and a lot of these goddesses have their arms up in the very same positions. We also find them wearing headdresses, much like what Chris is wearing in the picture. We have Chris portraying the goddess. Arms up can also be a sign of victory. And I believe that's why they put this little subliminal, if you will, in the card as well. Further back in the card, you see all these TV sets with Bruce Jenner, once again, as the American hero. You know, the man's man, arms up, raised, victory, right? This is back when he beat the Russian. So now we get the complete picture. You can see further over there to the left, Bruce Jenner, arms upraised, American man, winner of the Olympics. Transition all the way over to the right. Now we have Bruce Jenner looking at what he used to be, the statue, the arm missing, from man to woman, end of the fourth age, the beginning of the fifth age, the transition from man to woman. And in the middle we have the goddess. Chris with her hands up, she has the headdress on. The goddesses have arrived. We've gone full circle. We're back to Babylonian goddess worship in many respects. But then, of course, you look at this leaked picture. This is the first picture of Bruce Jenner in a dress, the black and white, right? We got the black and white. You get the Freemason checkerboard floor, the duality, right? And we see this all around this family. So why are we not surprised when we find the very first leaked photo of Bruce Jenner wearing this dress, again in the black and white? It's deep stuff, man, I know. But, you know, there's so many psyops happening with this story. I mean, there's so many psyops happening with this story, and it's very base stuff for the majority of people. The whole Bruce Jenner thing is going to be something people are going to be talking about for a long time. And even if they aren't, the media is going to make sure you are, because they're going to keep perpetuating it. You're just going to see more of this. Because once again, guys, all the lines are blurred. Our reality is shifting. The veil is being lifted, and we're seeing everything change right here. And we're seeing everything change and distort and mutate into this coming New World Order. It's heavy stuff, man. It's deep. Just remember, when you see this, always look beyond. You know, it's not always just the Illuminati symbol. It's the devil. Watch out. You know, there's more going on. They're sending us messages. And I believe that God is allowing more of us to see these things for what they really are. I'd also like to say, as for Bruce Jenner himself saying he's a conservative Christian, everything I'm seeing come out of him tells me otherwise. His actions, all the stuff with the family, all the symbols. But once again, I don't know him personally. I don't know his heart. I would hope that he believes in God and he truly trusts Jesus Christ and accepted Christ as a Savior. And if he did, I believe he's saved. I believe he's saved. I believe in grace, not works. But I also believe in not listening to people's words. I believe in looking at their actions. What fruit is somebody bearing? That's what I like to see. So anyway, guys, that's what I got for you. I just wanted to make this video, point a few of these things out to you. We're definitely in those times. I know you see a lot of this goddess worship re-emerging right now. We see a lot of this in Hollywood, a lot with the Illuminati artists, specifically the females, of course, dressing up like ancient goddesses on stage. All this stuff is playing out right now before our very eyes. These are very interesting times we're in. Well, thanks for checking out the video, guys, and I'll talk to you a little later, okay? Take care.